As part of activities to celebrate St. Vincent and the Grenadines' 31st anniversary of independence, the Agency for Public Information will host its third photography competition for amateur photographers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The competition is open to persons who do not use photography as their main source of income, do not have more than 5 years' experience in photography, and have not received any training in photography. Prizes will be awarded for the outstanding photographs, and the deadline for submitting photos is October 29, 2010. Invest SVG, the business and investment arm of the government, says it has created an aftercare services unit. Acting Executive Director of Invest SVG, Cleo Huggins, says the unit caters exclusively to investors who have already invested in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
The officer responsible is Curtis Denny. So one of his functions would be to track all of the existing investment in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and at some point communicate with them to determine how the investment came to St. Vincent, how it was facilitated, what they do, how business has changed since they started, and what plans they have for the future, and how we as an investment promotions agency can assist with whatever they plan to do.
Huggins was responding to questions from IKTV regarding the Shanghai exhibition, at which St. Vincent and the Grenadines shares a CARICOM booth. Huggins explains why St. Vincent and the Grenadines has reached out to China for potential investors.
The bulk of the funding to go to China was provided by the International Expo Bureau, and that was an amount in excess of 650,000 EC dollars, divided up between the 15 CARICOM states. It was proposed that we attend. When we looked at what was supposed to be the potential benefits of participating and the fact that the Chinese had offered support in terms of translation, we figured that it could be worth the while. And this, I suppose, will answer another question that you posed, which is, what is in it for us? As you know, China is an emerging economy. They have strengths in manufacturing, they have strengths in research, of equipment and supplies, all inputs for things that happen in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So there could be an excellent opportunity for reducing the cost of production in St. Vincent and the Grenadines if we make the right connections in China or anywhere else in the world.
The Invest SVG Executive Director also responded to the question of St. Vincent and the Grenadines attending the exhibition in the People's Republic of China, while SVG has diplomatic relations with the Republic of China on Taiwan, which is considered a breakaway renegade state by China.
You mentioned the fact that we have relations with Taiwan. I am not in a position to speak on the foreign policy of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But what I can tell you is that St. Vincent is an investment location. And once we have done our due diligence and we recognize that the investment is coming from a reputable source and this is a viable project, we're looking for employment creation, we're looking for a reduction in our import bills. So I think it would be very foolish to be turning up our nose at investment once it is legitimate and viable.
Huggins also responded to the question of the wisdom of Invest SVG, moving away from the traditional investment sources of investors.
If you look at the studies that are being done, for example, the World Investment Report prepared by UNCTAD, the 2010 World Investment Report, they will tell you that China, throughout this entire economic depression, China is the economy that has been able to keep its head above water. The other traditional investment partners, as you call them, have not necessarily been our traditional investment partners. If you look at the investment in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, it has come mainly out of Europe. Yes, English-speaking countries, but not necessarily from the United States. And those countries that you're referring to, their investment has centered on mergers and acquisitions. What they do is absorb large companies and bring them into their own transnational companies and expand their own operations through mergers and acquisitions. They're not necessarily interested in greenfield development, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines has abundant opportunities for greenfield investment.
Acting Executive Director of Invest SVG, Cleo Huggins. The GEMS Progressive Community Organization is joining forces with the Southeast Development Inc. CD to host a two-day community sports and development extravaganza at the Stubbs playing field. The event will include competitive team sports, races, relays, and other games. Preliminary sports and games competitions get underway at 1 p.m. on Sunday, October 24th, with finals starting at 9 a.m. on Wednesday, October 27th, Independence Day. Teams from a number of communities have already expressed interest in participating in the event. The sports roster includes competitive football, volleyball, hardball, and softball cricket, rounders, netball, athletic races, sack races, tug-of-war games, egg and spoon races, relays, dominoes, and Pedro. Prizes will be awarded to winning teams of the extravaganza's closing ceremony on Wednesday, October 27th. Family planning efforts in St. Vincent and the Grenadines received a major boost with the recent donation of contraceptives from the United Nations Population Fund, the UNFPA. The Family Planning Unit says the donations include 1,000, that should be 5,000 sets of Norris Tarat and syringes, 10,000 cycles of Monsigliron, 9,000 female condoms, and 7,200 male condoms. The contraceptives are expected to allow women and their families to address their family planning needs and exercise their right to decide the number, spacing, and timing of their children. This is in fulfillment of the commitment made by 179 governments around the world in 1994 in Cairo, Egypt, when they agreed to provide universal access to a full range of safe and reliable family planning methods and related reproductive and sexual health services by 2015. The Lourdes Agro Processors has been renamed Vinci Fresh Limited as part of efforts to rebrand the organization to better reflect its corporate strategy. The company said the new name reflects a national brand of St. Vincent and the Grenadines with a fresh start and improved product lines. It said the name change also reinforces the brand as an integrated corporation and reflects the corporate strategy of the company and its shareholders. Vinci Fresh is currently located in Lourdes and has a plant site in the Diamond Industrial Estate. The Garifuna Heritage Foundation will be holding its third community gathering in the village of Oya this weekend as part of activities to celebrate this country's 31st anniversary of independence. A release from the foundation says the event will be held at the Oya Government School on Saturday from 9 in the morning. The community gathering will bring together 6 traditional Garifuna communities to share knowledge, discuss ideas, and formulate strategies for the promotion of the Garifuna culture and heritage. Participants will also look at the social issues which needs to be addressed. The participating communities are Fancy, Oya, Sandy Bay, Greggs, Rosebank, and Rose Hall. The gathering will be held under the theme, Facilitating Change, Building the Economic Sustainability of Garifuna Communities in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. A new generation of Peace Corps volunteers was sworn in during a ceremony this week. The 11 Americans of cross-generational and ethnic backgrounds will serve for the next 2 years throughout the country, working with schools and other organizations. Prior to the swearing-in ceremony, they went through several weeks of training to ensure a smooth transition into the Vincentian society. The mission is celebrating 50 years of service around the globe this month. And that's our local segment. Our international stories coming right up. Don't go away.